What's going on, everyone? So today I'm going to show you how you can create your very own website using WordPress and Elementor. So let me just take you through a quick tour of the website we're going to create for today. So I decided to stick with a travel sort of business theme. Again, you can customize this to whatever your website needs are, but pretty much here is the main section, the hero section right here. And then here we just have a little information section. So again, you can customize this, replace it with your whatever images that fit your website design. And then here's a cool little parallax style scroll effects. And then you can see there's another contact information here. And then here is an image gallery. So if you do decide to have images on your website, you can just click here. And they actually are an image slider. So you can just navigate through this and see all the different images. So that's a cool little feature if it fits your website. And then also here's like a sort of a services type section. And again, these are all customizable to whatever fits your design. And then here's just like a little footer with just some content here that you can add there. And if I were to just scroll all the way back up and then let me just navigate to another page, you can pretty much add in whatever you want to on these pages as well. These are just custom designs here. And that's pretty much what we're gonna be working on for today. So this is super beginner friendly. Anybody can follow along this. So without further ado, let's get started. So in order to create your website, you're going to need web hosting. So the one that I recommend you use for your website is called HostGator. So I've included a link in the description down below. So you can go ahead and click on that link and this will lead you onto this page that we have right here. And just a quick side note, that is my affiliate link. So if you do decide to make any purchases through there, I receive a commission and this helps support the channel so I continue making free content just like this. So once we are here on this website, we can see they have 3 plans right now. They have the hatchling plan, the baby plan, and then also the business plan. So depending on what your goals are for your website, if you only need one website, then I recommend you go with this first plan, the hatchling plan, where it states here they have a single domain. This is the cheapest option and also it's the easiest way to get started. Now, if you actually plan on creating multiple websites, so more than one site, and this is actually the one that I use myself because I created multiple websites. So this way, if I ever have a new idea when it creates, then I always can just add it onto this plan. And this is the baby plan right here. It costs a little more than the hatchling plan. But again, if you're only doing one website, then hatchling is where it's at. And then if you need to create more than one, then I would recommend you go with this one. Now, business plan is the most expensive and they have a little bit extra features that you can create with your sites. But for a majority of us, you're most likely going to go with either the hatchling or the baby plan. So depending on which one you do, just go ahead and click on that option. So for this tutorial example, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the hatchling plan. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click here and click on buy now. So once you've decided on what plan you want to go with, you'll be led to this screen right here. So here's simply where you can enter your domain name. So if you already have a domain, then you can just simply click on this tab right here and then fill out this information there. But for most of us, if you're just starting out for the first time, you're gonna have to go ahead and create a domain name. So if you already have a name in mind that you want to use, you can actually go ahead and type this in here. So for this video, I'm gonna just come up with a simple name here. And let's see if this one is not taken. Call this one website build test. And then if I click outside of this tab, it should load and tell me whether or not this domain is available. So here I can see that it is here and it currently is free. So if it is already taken by somebody else, it will tell you it's unavailable and you simply just have to choose from additional options or just have to come up with a completely different name. So once you decide on that, you can go down and scroll down below. And before we get to the second section, you want to make sure you have this checked because essentially this keeps your information in terms of your personal name and your phone number and any sort of contact details private because people can actually look up your domain and find your information. And that's why if you've ever created a website before, you get calls from all over the place trying to sell you stuff. This is why you want to make sure you have this checked so that it essentially hides your information and that way nobody can mess with you or contact you without your permission. And then we can go here and choose the plan. So again, I just went with the hatchling plan, but if you wanted to change your mind, you can switch right there. And now here's the billing. So it starts it off at 36 months, which is the cheapest option. But for most of us and my personal self too, I usually like to go with the 12-month option because I usually have my website for 1 year, and if I do decide to keep it more than that, then I'll obviously upgrade it. But at least 1 year is good enough for me, and that does give you the best price as well in terms of the payments. But for this example, if you were to go even shorter, you could go 6 months, 3 months, and 1 month. But if you look at the difference in pricing, you'd end up paying more for 6 months than 12. And 24 and 36 months are quite a commitment. So unless you're very sure you're going to have your site for that long, then I would usually go with the 12 month. But again, you can decide on this. But for this example, since I'm showing you in the tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead with the 1 month. And also, if you're just getting started and you're like, I don't know if this is for me or not, you can also check this too, because it's the cheapest option in case you ever decide to not go through with it. Then obviously you want to end up spending or committing to a full year, etc. And now here, we can simply go ahead and create our account. So what I'm going to do is actually going to go in here and fill out this information. And then also, once I complete that, I will go ahead and fill out the next thing, which is simply the billing information. So I'll fill out all this information down here, enter my payment information, and then I'll see you on this section down below once I have that completed. So I just completed filling out my information and entering in my billing details. So now I'm here on the 5th section. So these are essentially add-ons, and for most of us getting started, you don't need any of these because they just cost extra. So you can simply just uncheck these right here. So this one and this one. And then I'm going to go down, and currently right now, the total is set at this price. And depending on when you're watching this and whether or not there's a sale or not, this might vary. But if you want to save some more, you can use my discount code here. So just go ahead and delete the one that's currently showing and just type in save more and do it all lowercase, just exactly as I did. And then you click on validate. And then once you do that, you'll notice that the price actually has decreased by a substantial amount. So depending if you have like the yearly plan, it might be a lot more. And then after that, we can just simply go down here and then just click on this little check mark. And then we can go ahead and click on checkout now. So for me, I just have to verify. So let me just go and verify this really quick. And now it should show you this screen, and essentially it is loading up. So once it's completed loading, we can move on to the next step. So once it finishes loading, it'll pop up with this screen. This is just a simple little survey you can fill out, but for this, I'm just gonna go ahead and exit off of it. And now you can see the screen right here. So essentially it's just telling you to get started, but for us, we can just go ahead and exit off here as well. So here we are now on the HostGator dashboard. So the first thing you want to do is actually install WordPress. So what we can actually do here, and if you see we have the install WordPress option down below on the control panel section, we can just click on install WordPress. And then it leads us over to this screen right here. So we can actually go here and just click on install now. Now I'm just going to ask you some questions to fill out. So right now this is the latest version. Also this is our website's domain name. And in terms of the site name here, you can actually go ahead and just change this to whatever you'd like to. But I can just say, I'll just call this my website. But obviously if your website has a theme, then you can change it according to that. Site description, I'll just keep that for now. Now here for the admin section, you're gonna wanna change this. And I highly recommend that you write this information down because this is what you're going to need to actually log into your admin panel, which allows you to actually create and design your website. So for this one, I'm just gonna call this, just type my name, I'll just say Brian Admin. And then for the password, obviously you'd have to create your own custom password. So I'll just go ahead and do that right now. Once you've created your password, now you can go ahead and enter your email. And this is the one I would use, is the one you signed up with the HostGator account. So I'm just gonna go ahead and type in my email here. So for these, you can just leave these blank. And then here, just showing some themes, but you can ignore this and you can just go ahead and click on install. Now this might take a minute to load. So once it is done, I'll see you on the next side. So now it is complete. So if you wanna check it out, you can actually go to this link right here, or you can simply type in your domain name and then do /wp-admin. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on this. So as you can see, we are currently here on our dashboard. So you might have an issue where your screen shows up that's showing that there's some sort of error. So if that's the case, you might have to wait maybe 30 minutes to an hour before your website actually propagates and finishes uploading your information. So in the meantime, you can simply just go ahead and take a break, wait for it to complete, and then come back and check it out. Also, you might have received an email from HostGator, whether it's received yet or not, but most likely you'll receive an email from HostGator that is asking to verify your contact information. So be sure to check your email that you signed up with for that confirmation email, and then go ahead and click the link within there to make sure you have all your information confirmed. So now we are here on the dashboard, so we can actually go ahead and let's just clean some things up. So I can just dismiss this right here, and then here, let me just get rid of this right there. And now we pretty much have this, and let's go ahead and start actually creating our website. So in order to start designing our website, we're gonna go ahead and start by installing a theme. So here on the left, we have all our different options. So this is essentially where you're going to update all of your posts, your images or videos, pages, themes, plugins, tools, settings, etc. So what we're gonna need is actually a theme. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on appearance, and I'm just go ahead and click on the word themes. So by default, it has a theme already chosen for you. So depending on when you're watching this, it might be an updated version, but all we need to do is actually add a new theme. So I'm gonna go here to this button right here that says add new theme, and just click on this plus sign. Now here you can see a lot of different theme options that you can choose from. And here they have these labeled as agency, which are also their premium versions. But we can actually go up to the top where it says all, and just simply just go to the free tab. And now we have a much better idea of the free templates here. Now for this tutorial, I'm actually gonna show you a lot of cool tips and tricks for creating your own custom designs from scratch. So in terms of using a template, it's not really necessary unless you feel that it fits what you're trying to create. But for example purposes, let's just scroll up. Let me just go ahead and choose this option right here, this one called mountain. And then let's just click on this one. So now we can actually go here to the bottom and just click on import complete site. And then here we can just simply go and click on imports. So now the import has finished. So we can actually go here and click on visit site or view site. And now you can see this is what we have as our current template right now. So this one is nice and clean, and it gives us a cool little structure that we can actually edit. But I want to show you another way to actually go in, customize this by yourself. So let's actually go back to our default dashboard. And what you want to do is go over to this tab plugins and just click on add new. And I apologize if you can hear the fan in the background. My MacBook is overheating, I guess, or the fan is running because I'm recording at the same time. So you might hear a little fan noise, but I'll try to speak over it so you can hear me clearly. And then here in the plugins, you can go ahead and search and just type in Elementor, Elementor, and then press enter, or it can autofill and it'll load up for us. So right now, as you can see, we already have the Elementor website builder active and it's installed. But if it has not actually been installed for your templates or your website, then what you want to do is actually click on the option where it says install now. And then once that's installed, it'll say active, and then you just click on activate. So I'll do it here for this one. We have the essential add-ons for Elementor. So let's just go ahead and click on this install now. And it says it's installed, and once there, we can click on activate, and then it'll essentially activate. So in case your theme or website does not have that option, then you just have to do that step. And then here, when we go and install that and activate it, we can see we're led to our plugins, installed plugins tab. If you're not on here, just simply go back to plugins and click on the install plugins tab here. And here we can see all of our different plugins that are currently installed on the website right now. And what you want to make sure is we have is Elementor and Elementor add-ons, and then also we have Elementor here. So these aren't necessary, these two, but as long as you have Elementor, you should be good to go. So now what we actually can do is go back to our websites, and we can click on visit sites, or if you already have it opened up for you, I have it like this on my end. So I'm just going to navigate to that tab. And now we can actually go ahead and start editing this website. So in order to customize the design, we're going to need to go up to this option that says edit with Elementor and just click on this tab here. So once you click on that option, you'll see this sidebar on the left that has a bunch of different options to customize your website. So if you used Elementor before, then you're pretty familiar with this, then it should be fairly easy to follow along. But if this is your very first time, essentially this shows you different things that you can add to your website. For example, a heading. This is equivalent to like right here. So we can actually go and we can click it. and we can just drag this into the website just like this. And then we can just go and double click in the text and then just change this to, hey, this is a heading. And then if you wanted to, you can actually center it with this alignment option right here, to the middle, to the right, and then justify it. And then also the HTML tag, it just changes essentially the sizing of this and then the boldness. But we're actually going to customize this too, so that you don't have to really worry about this. In terms of the size, they have different sizings, but again, there's another option on every single styling for text, buttons, anything that you want to color. It's always going to be under this style tab right here. So this essentially allows you to change the text color. So you see the default right there. So if you just click on this, you can see that there's different primary colors. And this is what they have currently for this theme. But we can actually go and click on the little slash. And then if I want to change this to red, I can do that. And then I can drag this color and just pretty much change this to whatever color I want to. And then the opacity is basically see-through, so the lower it's basically invisible, and then the higher it is pretty much solid. And then let me click back on this. We have typography. So this is essentially the style of the font. So if you did not like this default style, you can go here and change this to like Arial, Tahoma, Helvetica, etc. So essentially the family for typography is like the design of the fonts. The sizing is right here. So if you want to make this massive, you can go through like this. The weight is essentially the thickness of the fonts. So 900 is like the thickest, with 100 being the thinnest. Most fonts are standard 400, and then bold is standard is around 700. So those are usually the two that you really need. Other than that, it's just over, or essentially it's just extra if it's for your design, but it's not really necessary. Transform. This is essentially, you can do uppercase, lowercase. Now this is not necessary if you just go in here and type everything uppercase or lowercase yourself. But if you want to do everything in lowercase and then one day you're like, oh, I don't want to make it lowercase, I'll just do uppercase, you can do it like this. So if in case you have like a very long paragraph on your website, then that's how you do it there. In terms of the style, this is just italic is ideally the one that people most likely use, but you also have this oblique and you can't really tell the difference, and then just normal like this. And then decoration is simply like underlining, over line through, etc. here. Line height, so if you do have something that's 2 lines, so we can say enter, type a bunch of letters, and let's go back to typography. Line height essentially just puts the spacing from the first line to the second. So ideally you want to keep it around 1 to 1.4 looks pretty solid, but yeah, let's keep it, let's do 1.2 here. And then letter spacing is exactly what it means, the spacing in between the letters. So that was just like a quick run through of typography and text. And that's just showing you the typography parts and then also the coloring. And then text shadow is just basically like a shadow. So if you see like, you can kind of see in the background, basically a little blurred effect. And if you want to change this to a different color, you can change it to red. Usually you want to have like a black shadow for most designs, but again, it depends on your website. And then blend mode. Now these, you can mess around with these, but again, I don't really need these for this design, but feel free to play around with that. And then here is advanced, which will go with margins, paddings. And if you're not familiar with these terms, I'll go into more details when we actually utilize this. But for the most part, I just wanted to show you mainly just like editing text and like the style tab here. And that's just a quick run through fairly quickly, but I'm going to go in more detail now and show you how to actually create your own custom sections and also additional designs here. So let me just go here. If you weren't already, just go back to the, click the menu and then just make sure you're back on this front page. And then also if you wanted to see the full website, you can click the little arrow and see what it currently looks like right here. And then we go back, click it just to edit this. So for this design, what I'm actually gonna do is get rid of a lot of this template. So like for example here, I'm not going to utilize this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just click and make sure to tell like what section you're on. Whenever you hover a mouse over it, it's gonna highlight it with the blue line, and then it has this little option menu pop up. So for instance, if I highlight this section, it's right above me. And then I can just simply One is I can click here to edit this section. Also, I can click plus to add a new section above it, which I'll show you in just a second. And then here I'm just going to exit off of this one because I want to delete this section. So for this section, I'm actually going to delete this one as well because I'm going to create another one similar to the design, but I want to show you from scratch just so that you have an idea of how to create your own custom components. And then here we can keep this for now, leave it here. And then this is just an image gallery, which I might just keep that. And then we just have our footer down here. And this one's pretty standard, so it's not too different, I guess you could say, from most footers. So you can actually keep this one in case you want to make your own. You can definitely do that yourself. But for the most part, let's actually go ahead and start editing this first section right here, which is mainly called the hero section because essentially it's the first part of the websites. And I just want to go here and edit this default template showing you just some quick ways to customize it. And then for these next sections, I'll add a custom one from scratch to show you exactly how to make something if you are interested in making something your own versus using a template. So let's go here actually, and let me just get rid of this text stuff right here. So I'm just going to just go here, and actually I can just go here and erase it like this, but the thing is it's still technically here. So if I go here and right click, you can see that we have these options, and then I can just go and right click on it and just click on delete. And now you can see that it has been deleted. So here we can actually go in and let's just go and start editing this text. So I like this default templates design for the hero section. So for this one, let's just say travel across the world. Let's see, across the world. And then for this, you can actually go to this box right here as well, if it's easier for you, and you can just type into there and it updates there as well. But I think it's just easier to just go straight into this. And then right now it looks on 2 lines, but if I were to click this arrow, it'll see that it's still showing that. So what I can actually do is I can go here to the styles, and for instance, let's say I want this only on 1 line. I can go here to typography, and in terms of the size, I can just decrease the size until it fits within 1 line. So I think it looks good like this. And you can go in here and edit this according to whatever fits you. And here, let's do 55 to keep it even. And then here, I can just double click here and then just say, let's see, find, I'll do capital F, find your next destination. And notice how it's lowercase, but I capitalized the F. And the reason why is because this theme, if I go to styles, if I go to typography, it has the transform on this default. So if I just click normal, it'll change it on. Because right now it was currently set to lowercase. And if I want to change it to uppercase, I can do it like that. I actually like this better, so I'll keep it like this. In terms of this filler content right here, I'll just leave that. And then for the button, we can actually click on this button. And if you want to change the text, you can go in and just click it and just delete it just like that. But if it's easier for you, you can go here and then I can just say, call this one trips. And then for the link, this is, once we create pages, you'll be able to update this value. But for right now, it's set to essentially the home page, so nothing's going to happen. For the size, you can change this to like extra large, medium, etc. But since this button is pretty much, the text is not that big, you can't really see a difference right now. So I'll just keep it at large for now. For the icon, you can actually add icons here. So if I click on icon library, you'll see that there's a lot of these cool different icons. So for instance, if I want to do, let's do a right arrow. Let's see if anything pops up. Looks like they might have a different spelling. They call it chevrons, which this one's pretty popular to use. But I actually like, yeah, let's do this one right here. If you type in right or chevron right, I can insert this. And notice that it's now showing this icon next to the word trips. Now, in terms of positioning, I prefer this to be on the right side. So if I click after, it'll put it there. And then icon spacing, if you want it to be closer to the text, I think 10 is a pretty good number to space it out. And then button ID, this is essentially if you need it to be unique. So we're not going to use this right now, so we'll just keep it right there. And then for this, About us, let's see, let's change this. Trips. Actually, I think, yeah, this one was pretty solid there. Now, we can actually go and let's say we want to get rid of this background. Like, I don't like this image. We want to change it to something else. So what we actually do is click on these dots right here and click on Edit Section. And right now, you can actually right-click. It says right-click too, but when you just click on it regular, it'll bring this tab up here. And right now, the background, it's filled with this image right here. So if you don't like the image and you just want a straight up plain background, you can actually delete this image here. And now it's plain. And then I'm going to show you how to decorate the background color, change it up. But for this design, I'm going to add an image. So let me show you beforehand. If you just want to add just a plain color to it that isn't like a gradient or a fancy looking color, you can just simply make sure you're on classic. Click on this little slash here, and then you can see you can change it up like this. Now there is an effects on this template already. So like if we go to, for instance, the background type, we can change this one to classic, and then here we can pretty much just go this one to like red. And then here, opacity, we can change it, doesn't really matter. But as you can see, it looks like that if we change the background. And then that's the background overlay border. We're not needing this for this because it's just a background. Also, there's a thing called shade divider and then typography here. But we don't need to mess with that. Mainly, we need to go and look at this thing called background. So for background overlay, let's actually go and change the opacity back to essentially invisible because I don't want this to actually show up anywhere for now. And then let's just go to background. So right now we're on classic. So if you click it, you want to change this to any color you'd like. Then this is where you do it. And now if you want to make it fancier with the gradient, you can click on the gradients. And gradient is essentially two or more colors combined to create a effect. So for here, if you want like the top of this to be like let's do like a light blue. And then you want the bottom of it, you can be like, let's say just green, just so you can see it clearly. And by default, it's essentially stacking left or essentially top and bottom. But if you want to edit this location of the first color, you'll slowly notice that it basically just takes over the size of the screen depending on how high you raise this up. Vice versa for the second color is currently at 100, which is at the bottom. And if I raise it up to the top to 0, it just shrinks like this. Now this is linear. You want it to be radial, which is kind of like a circular shape motion. Then you can have it like this. And then also you have this center. You can change that here in terms of positioning, changing that there. Let's go back to linear. And this angle. So I usually like to go from the left corner to the right. That's just a preference of mine. Feel free to change it up to whatever you'd like to. But pretty much you can see here, it's like the blue, which is mainly on the top left corner. And the green is more on the right bottom. And then if you want to reverse it, if I click here and drag, you can see now blue's on the right side and the green is on the bottom left. And then you can just rotate this. So usually like right here, I think looks pretty good. And for the most part, usually I do gradients that are quite similar in color. So like a darkish blue and a light blue, kind of can't really see it, but like this one. And I personally like this design. But for this actual thing, I'm going to use an image. And also if you'd like to add a video on the background, you can click on this video tab. You can embed a link from YouTube or any other video websites. Or you can actually click here and add something to fallback as well. But then we actually have a slideshow option too as well. But we're not going to utilize this for this example. But if you wanted to mess around with the slideshow option, you can add different images in here and essentially is a slideshow. So let's just go back to classic and let's just click here and let's go and choose an image. So again, this is where you would go and upload your own image files for your website. So if I click choose image, by default, this is the theme that already has their images uploaded. So if you just start from scratch using a different theme, then you'll have a different screen showing. And then you can go to upload files and then just click on select file and then just find the file wherever it's located on your computer and then just upload it and then it'll show up right here in your media library. But for this example, I'm going to use this website. It's free, it's called Pixabay, and it's already embedded with Elementor and WordPress so that you don't have to go on the site itself and actually go in there and download it from their sites. You could just go to the website pixabay.com and do the exact same thing. There's also alternatives called Unsplash as well as Pexels. And those are very similar sites. I personally like Pexels and Unsplash better because the images are just much more quality and they just have a different variety of choices. But let's go ahead and check out Pixabay. And this is sort of like a travel theme website. So let's just type travel and see what pops up. And you can use these. These are free to use for your business. And you're able to use them without any crediting. So you're welcome to pretty much use this on any of your sites. And right now you can see these are just some of the pictures that we have right here. So I'm just going to go here. Let me see if I can look through some of these pictures and see if I can find one. And for the most part, I like to pick one that is essentially a horizontal view. So like you can see here, these are pretty much horizontal. Some orientations are vertical, so you can change it to vertical like this. And then you can search it up and you can see it looks like this. But for the main sections on your website, it's much better to have it as horizontal because it'll fit within the actual design and then it won't be like missing on sections or look lopsided. So you can see here, this is what we have so far, and I'm just gonna go, let's see if I can scroll through here and see if I find anything good. And let's see if I can just go and see, what do we got here? So I'm gonna actually look up another term. Let me just do, let's call it hiking. Let's see if I find any good images here. And let's see if there's any good ones. So this one's actually a pretty cool illustration, but it looks like it's a square, so I don't think it's gonna be fitting in terms of the layout that I'm trying to recreate. I actually think this image right here could work. So let's try it and see if it fits. Actually, yeah, this image right here, I actually like this one a lot. So this one's right here. And essentially I just typed in hiking. So if you wanted to find the exact one I did, just go and type in hiking, any orientation, scroll down, and it'll be this one right here. So you can also type in like adventure landscape and it should pop up in terms of keywords. And so I'm just gonna go and click on save import. And now you can see that it currently just replaced the image of our website background with the one that we just chose. So now you can see this is what it looks like right here. So that's a quick and easy way to create and update the hero section and the background. And actually, let's go ahead and actually delete this text right here. I don't really like this text here. I don't see the point of it. So I'll keep it like this. And I think that looks much better. And let's go ahead and close this out. Now the cool thing is with these templates is they're most likely going to be responsive. So what that means is on smaller screen sizes such as like iPads or tablets and also phones, if I go click on the bottom left corner, this thing called responsive mode, this little computer icon, you can change this to tablet. And as you can see, since we already utilized a template with Astro's theme, it already does it for us. So that's really awesome and saves you a lot of time. And then also we have the mobile right here, and you can see it's like this. So let's go back to desktop. So one thing we need to do is actually save this. So if you notice, there's a green button at the bottom left corner. So let's actually click update. And ideally, if you're creating this on your own, you most likely want to do this every few minutes, because if you accidentally exit off of this, or if your internet goes out some reason, you want to make sure that you have your work saved. And then also you can click on this little eyeball to preview the changes to see what the design actually looks like on a desktop view. So as you can see, this is what our design currently looks like, and pretty much we have this default buttons, we have some content, and we change the background image. And now we have this image down here, little image gallery. So next I want to do is show you how to create your own custom section, and then that could end up being customized to whatever your design is. So for instance, if you weren't using a theme, you're probably wondering like, how do I actually customize a website from scratch? So ideally, if this wasn't here, it'd just be a blank screen with like a plus sign. So right now, if I go here to this hover on the second section, you'll see these like blue icons pop up, and there's a plus sign, which you want to go and click on this. And pretty much you have three options. You have this little plus sign here. Then you have this little folder icon, and then you have this thing right here. So let's actually go and click on the plus sign. So now you have multiple different options. So these essentially are layout design. So if you just want it to be a straight up a rectangle, kind of like this hero section up here, then you would choose this one. If you want it to be two little sections side by side, you choose this one. 3, this one's pretty popular if you have like a pricing table or like a services section with 3 different cards. And then the rest are just depending on what you're designing. I personally stick with mainly the first 3. But if you have like a blog post or something where you have like a sidebar and then you have the content on the right, and then here, these are just more extra designs. But for this example, let's actually just click on the second option right here. And now you can see we have 2 essentially squares. So now if you wanted to, let's go back to the menu. So double click here. We can pretty much just drag and drop whatever you want to. So for example, if I want to put a heading here, I'll just drag it in. And then I can just say, check out this. And then if I want to go back to the main settings, so just double click there, I can drag in this intersection. Also I have this text editor option here. And then I have additional features, but these are for pro users, so that is the premium version. So since we're using the free one, let's just drag this intersection below this heading. And as you can see here, this is essentially like another section within a section. So if you needed this option, you can definitely utilize this, but I'm not actually going to use this. I want to actually just add a little paragraph. So here's a little text editor, just drag it under here. And now we have a little mini paragraph. And then if I want to go back, and I can also just click this plus icon. It also brings me back to this tablet view or these options. And if I want to have, for instance, like an image, so I just drag this image here, and then I can click on this image. Let's just choose an image, and let's just pick just one from Pixabay. Let's just do adventure, see what pops up. So right now we got just a bunch of these images. So let's see, this person with a backpack looks like it fits the theme, so let's just click save and insert. And now let's actually go back and choose image, and it looks like it did not, looks like it didn't import properly. So yeah, it might have been an issue. Let me go back and try that one more time. Not sure why it didn't do it. Yeah, it looked like weird flat. Yeah, that's really weird, but maybe my computer just lagging. So let's see if I can find that image again. Yeah, it should have been imported. So let's try again. Let's try inserting it one more time. If it doesn't work this time, then that's definitely something wrong with my computer. So yeah, it does not look proper. So let's do this. Let's go back to the media library, and let me just pick one of these default ones. So like, just click this one, see if this fixes it. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe sometimes the images from Pixabay aren't loading. So the best bet is to just straight up download the image from the original site, or just upload your own custom images. That way you don't have to deal with any issues. But it looks like I managed to fix it there. And then here you can change the image sizing. So ideally, you'd want to stick with a design that is, for this at least purpose, the same ratio. If your image isn't designed for that, then obviously you'd have to change that too. Alignment, obviously, you want to center, you can, but since this is literally exact proportions of this section, then I don't really have to worry about that. And you can also add links and stuff too, but this is just going to be my image. And then here, I want to go and actually, let's go back to the main sections, and I want to add a little button just underneath it, just to show you like if you're actually building this from scratch. And then here you can go in and change this up. So let's see, say like learn more, and then pretty much you notice like this spacing. Like if you don't like this spacing here, so what we can actually do is let's go here, let's go and click on this column here. So there's a little gray option right there. For the vertical align, let's do middle. So now we center our content. I've noticed this is lowercase, so let's click on this text here. Let's go to style, typography, and for the transform, let's just do normal. Okay, there we go. And then pretty much this section is, if I go click out, we basically made like our own custom section. Now the thing is, I don't like this, like how close it is. And this is where padding comes in. So you can use margin as well. But what you can do is you can click on these little green dots, and then we can go here to the advanced. And now you can see there's a thing called margin. So margin, think of this as like pushing it away from whatever's next to it. So like pretend you're standing in a crowd of people. Margin is like you literally pushing people outside of your, like let's say you're trying to make like a circle around you, you'd be literally pushing a circle around you for margin. For padding, it's more of like inside. So think of you like expanding into a circle. So you're actually pushing people from the inside. So it's really hard to grasp if you've never seen it before. But for the most part, I typically use padding when I separate my sections. And then I use like margin to separate my content inside of each other. So like for instance, right now, if I unclick this and I just do top, and let's just slowly click this. Usually I like to do like 150. So let's do 150 on the top, and then for the bottom, let's do the same thing. And then click back. Now you can see that we have this like nice spacing here, and it's pretty much like, looks like a normal section here. And then if I were to click back, I've noticed that this particular content is like kind of close to here. So what I could do is click on this column and add padding, but I want to click on this image particular right here, and then I go advanced, and I can actually set a padding. So if I just drag this up, notice how my image slowly shrinks because I'm essentially pushing within its circle only. So you see how there's like this blue outline? That's essentially the full outline of the image. And when I said like the example where you're like a crowd of people and you're pushing internally out, it's only can go the max of the blue line. So if I were to do margin, it will do the same exact thing, except it's within its own bounds. So for padding, let's do 20. Click back off of it, and now you can see there's a little more spacing here. Now, ideally, it's not necessary to do it around the entire image. Like if you only wanted, so if I go back, and let's just go back to 0. If you notice, like only this right side is kind of close, like right here, like this part right here is kind of close. You don't have to put padding on the entire thing. You can just go, and like for instance, this is on the left side, so I can just shrink the left. Let's just do 16. Then you can see like there's a little more spacing. So the top, right, and bottom still remain the same, except this part is like within this section here. Now use cases for margin. So if you wanted to click on this text, for instance, and like say you don't like the spacing between these, like you want it to be this a little higher, you can go to advanced and then uncheck this, and like for instance bottom, I can just go and increase this, and notice now like all the spacing, so you can see it's like much more spaced out. Now I don't need it for this design because it looks like the spacing is it looks really nice here, so I'm gonna keep it like this. But you get the point. That's pretty much like just a short example right there. And now let me show you this other cool thing. So if I go here, and this section is also, if I click responsive mode, let's go to tablet, you'll notice that if I go exit out like this, it looks quite close on these edges. So I personally don't like it being this close. What I can actually do is I can go here and let's click this edit section. And since I'm on tablet, it should only update tablet and anything below the screen size of tablet, so like mobile phones. But for desktop, it shouldn't affect the desktop view because it's going from top down to bottom. So right now it goes from basically desktop is at the top, and then tablet, and then mobile. So tablet can't go up, but it can go down. So it's only going to affect the two down below. So for instance, I want to set, let's unlink these values. So make sure you clicked here. Actually, let's do Command Z. Let me click here. Yeah, let's do Command Z. We'll click here, and let's actually keep maintaining this. But let's do first unlink it. But let's see. Yeah, it looks like it has to do it on each section. Let's just do this. Let's do 150 again on the top and the bottom. And then for the left, make sure I uncheck this. Yeah, so it should be unchecked. Not sure why it's, yeah, okay, there we go. And then for the right, let's do 32. And then for the left, let's just do 32. So now if you notice, if I go back, it has this nicer feel to it because it's like more spaced out. So now you can see it looks like this, and you see it's like that. So now if I close this back out, and then I go to mobile, you can see that it automatically updated according to this. So the thing is, I don't like is this image, it's like awkward. So like, let's do this. Let's just unlink these values, and basically it fills out its container completely. And also, I wish that this column right here was a little more space from below. So just click right here and just go advanced, and then basically unlink the margin, and let's just do like bottom. We can increase this to like, let's do like 32 here. And then if I go out now, this looks much better to me. And I like this setup much better. And then as you can see here, we have these values here. Let's just go back now. And pretty much, if we go now back to tablet, you'll notice that the design for tablet maintains, and then for desktop, it maintains its design here. So now this pretty much completes this section. This is a pretty common design for websites in terms of like information. So if you wanted to, you can replicate this, add like a picture here or illustration, whatever fits, and then you can just update these values. And then we can actually go here and just click on update. And then once it updates, we can preview the site to see what it currently looks like. So now let me go click on preview and just see what the site currently looks like. So you can see here, this is what we have so far, and then I'll scroll down below, and this is what we got so far too. So now let's go ahead and update this section here, and then also want to show you some additional things we can create. So for now, let's just click on this, the three dots here, and I just want to change this background. So let's go to style, choose image, and let's see. They have some pretty cool backgrounds actually, but I think this one would make the most sense because of the design it has. And then I want to do is, it looks like it has some sort of overlay effect. So you notice how this is like a bluish gradient tint. So let's actually do this, and let's go rid of this by just decreasing the opacity here. And then same thing for the second color. Let's just decrease it here. And that's pretty much what we have so far. Now, if you did want to keep that, you're welcome to. But again, I think it just looks cooler without it. You can see it looks like this. Has a cool like parallax type scroll effects. And then here we can just like update the text. Let's just say let's do beautiful views. And contact, we'll keep that, looks fine there. That looks pretty much the same. And then here's like an image gallery. So I kind of like this because this kind of fits the theme of the design. But what I want to do is add something custom to this, just to show you like you don't have to just use a template. So you can just say, drag in like a heading right there, and then just say, let's see, check out our destinations. And notice how they have the default text. So let's go to style, typography here. For the, let's see, where's it at? Transform, let's just do normal. And then also content, let's do centered here. And again, you can go in to these images individually and then just go in here. Notice how this is like a little slider. So you can actually go in and just like instantly see images changing. So if that did fit your design, then you have something pre-built out there for you. If you actually have to program this from code from scratch, it takes so much longer. Like, it's insane how much more difficult it is to recreate the exact same thing with code. I've actually made sites with code with this exact sort of template, and it just takes up a lot of your time. But since WordPress is no code, it just makes it so much easier. And then last thing let's show you is, let's go back here. Let's click on this, and you see how they have this folder here. So you want to click on this. This is essentially showing you like Elementor's library. So if you didn't like the templates on the Astra theme, you can actually just go in here in Elementor. It has their own themes, and I'll actually show you how to implement this in later. But like, what I usually like to do is go to this blocks tab here and pretty much just choose something that I like. So for instance, right now Pro is a premium selection, so you're not allowed to use that with the free version. But there's plenty of stuff on the free version that you can just go in here and just use right away, and they're pretty nice design too. So I usually like to go through here and just check everything out, see like what I see. And let me see, they look like they have updated their pro options, so there's a lot more in terms of what is available. But for in terms of like a travel type site, let's see what we can add here, because there's so many different options. And right now their current free designs are mainly black white. So I'm trying to find something that's like much more, say, colorful, that looks good on pretty much more of like a colorful site. So let's see what they have here. I'm just scrolling down, and yeah, I'm just trying to find something. And notice too, let's actually do this, because this is, I want to show you like how easy it is to recreate your own site. So like if you scroll way down like a little bit, looks like on my scroll it's about like 25% or so. We have this option right here. And if you don't realize, this is almost identical to the section that we created from scratch. But like it's a little bit in terms of the design, like pushed to the left more. And then this like image like hovers. So let's actually do this. Let's insert this. And then to access this template, you just need to basically create an account. So let me just go ahead and get started. So I'll just go in here. I'll just create an account really quick and then see you once I'm done. So once you signed up for an account and just connected it, it'll pretty much just auto update, and looks like we have, to me it looks like it did not properly update. So what we need to do is actually go back and let's try that one more time. Yeah, I don't know why today is just like glitching on me. So let me see if I can go back down. And I believe I was about 20%. So let's see, where was I? Make sure I'm in the right section. Yeah, right here. This option right here. And let's just click on insert. And I'm not sure why it's not, yeah, it's really strange why it's not. Looks like that, I guess today is just bugging out on me. So let's do something. Let's see if we can find something. Let me just try this really quick. Let me make sure this actually works, because it doesn't look like it's uploading properly right now. So sometimes things work, sometimes not. So you can see here, this one looks like it works completely fine. So it's not exactly what design I wanted, but let's see if I can find another one that fits this website. So let me go back to it. And let's see, maybe the other design works, but I'm just gonna keep scrolling and see if I find anything cool. But if not, I think this one actually would be really good, is a testimonials kit. So like right down here, this one looks pretty cool. So if I click this one, hopefully if we're lucky, this works. Awesome. Okay, perfect. This one works, so that's perfect. So actually now what we can do is I can change this background too, but let's do this. Let's click on this image and let's choose image, and there's already a bunch of people on here. So let's do this. Let's click on this person right here and then just insert media. And this image is actually really small, so I did not like the size of this image. So let's see, are these all the same exact size? 150, 150, yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to free. Let's type in portrait. And let's see if I can find a, I think vertical will be fine, but yeah, let's just see if I can find anything. Looks like there's not many faces. Let's do face. Let's try that. And it looks like the faces just aren't the, how'd I say it? These aren't the best faces in terms of the thing. So like, let's go back. Let me just do this. I wanted to switch the face, but I mean, it really doesn't really matter. Let's just Command Z and just bring this guy back. And we can just go, I can delete this like head of whatever, because it doesn't really matter for this. And yeah, name's fine. What I want to do is, let's see, this background actually black. Yeah, so I think that's going to be an issue, because if I change this background color to white, yeah, it shows him. So that is one of the, I guess you say cons of using the template part, but like, obviously you would use your own image. So ideally, if you wanted like a transparent image, it would look much better. But I think for the design, let's see, I want it to be more like a white colorful. So let's do this. Let's go back. I believe they have a white version of this template. So let's see if I can find it. If not, I'll just pretty much, let's see if I can find, I'm sure they have the exact version of it. This is the fun part too with designing websites, is you take a lot of time to figure out like what looks good and what doesn't. So let's see if I can find that one that I'm looking for. So it looks like they do it, but the image is actually with a black background. So I'm not a fan of that design. So let's actually do this. Yeah, I like this one much better. So this looks like I'm about 35-40% scrolled down. This one fits much better for our theme. Even this one too. But I like the second one here. So I'm gonna click on this one and just hit insert. And I really wanted the I don't know why it's not loading the images today for some reason. It's really strange. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I really wanted this type of section because I wanted it to be like a testimonials type thing, since this is kind of like traveling company. But I guess we just have to do what we got. So let's go here, click on this image. For some reason, my images are just not loading. I have no idea why. Let's just do this. Let's just pick on the template images just to save some time. And I'll just choose here. And let's do like this one right here. And pretty much we can say here, and we can say what we offer. And I don't like this typography. Let's see, transform normal. I think the size is quite large, so let's decrease it to maybe 50. Really looks, if I go, yeah. I want just regular bold, it's fine with me. And then here, we can just say, this one, let's just call this like full trips. And let's change the styling to, let's do transform again, let's just do normal. And then here, let's just say guided tours. And then let's just go here, change it again to transform normal here. And ideally you can think of this as like whatever, like a services type section, but obviously you can fill this in. But I'm just showing you different examples, ways to create like templates without you having to do everything from scratch. Because almost every design I'm sure you can think of can be recreated. Like this one was from scratch. These were already pre-built, but this one was like a pre-built design template from Elementor itself, which you can actually go in and customize yourself. And then here we can go and actually check this other option here. And this is the one, just click on Start Templates. And this is only because we have the Astra theme installed. And that's if you want to maybe, change it up to another design here. But this is not necessary since we already created a majority of the website. And then what we can do now is just check the responsiveness. So we can see here, pretty much we got all of this information here. And then mobile, looks like everything looks solid on mobile as well. So in terms of design, it's pretty much majority of it is done. So basically anytime you want to create a new section, you just click the plus sign, decide what you want to create, and then you can go in and click on the plus and just drag and drop. You want to add whatever you'd like. You can add in spacing too and dividers. So like you can't really see it on this, but like I've added to the bottom of here, there's like a little spacing added now. So if I close it out, you can see there's like a line. Let me just delete that. And then here obviously you would add whatever you'd fit in your design. But in terms of mostly using Elementor and just adding customizations, not too difficult. So now let's actually go in and let's update, for instance, like this stuff here. And then also if you go up, you can really see it, but like the Navbar too, when it shows you how to change some of that stuff too. So let's go ahead and update this, make sure everything is saved. And now let's go ahead and preview this just to make sure everything looks good. And now you can see everything looks nice and clean. So the next thing I want to show you how to do is actually customize your header, or essentially the nav bar. So right now, by default, there's this template and it has these sections here. And don't worry, I'll show you how to change these options as well. But in case you like this design and all you want to do is just change like this button and then maybe the logo too, what we can do is click on this customize option. And then once that loads up, you'll have a bunch of different options here. And what you want to do is click on the header tab. And then right now we have different things like site identity. this is where you can replace this logo. So if you want to click here, change the logo. And if you have something that looks cooler, so like I can just switch to this, click select, and we can like put it, let's do it like that. And I'll just go crop image. And let's see how that looks like on the website. And it doesn't look like it really did anything besides pretty much refreshed. And then let's see, let's do this. Let's change the, or let's do this. Let's remove this. And let's see if that updates as well. So now we can see it looks like that. Now what I want to do is see if I can do, let's go back and change the logo to the original. Actually, let's do, I think this one looks pretty cool. I like this one better, so I'll just keep it back to the white logo. It just looks cooler to me. And then if you didn't like any of this, and like let's say you just messed up and you're like, you know what, I'd just rather it be the same, then you could literally just click on this X here, and then changes will basically be lost. But that's okay because I like the original logo, so instead of me having to go back, change it back again and all that, I'm just gonna keep it like this. But that's just a little shortcut hack you want to do if in case you like messed up something. But let's go back to customize again. Let's go back to header and let's go to site identity. And for this example, these logos look good, so I'll keep them here. Site icon. So if you hover over this, you can't really see it, but essentially, if I go here and let's just show you really quick, let's see if I can find a. It looks like this one works. So just click here, and this is essentially like a favicon. And if you can see, maybe I should drag it over. As you can see, the favicon, or essentially this icon, is what displays on the tabs of your website. So right now, if you're using HostGator, it's gonna be like a little gator icon. So actually, I'm just go here and click on crop image, and I just want to change it here. Now, ideally, you would make your image of your icon of your website proportional in terms of like a 1-to-1 ratio, like a square. But since I'm just using the templates designs to save some time, I'll just go with this one. But again, that's something you can add in there. Site title, this is something you'd want to be for SEO terms, and also this would display on your thing. So if I say here, travel agency, and then tagline would be like providing the best trips. And that could just be anything. And that's pretty much where you can update those values there. And then we can go back. We can go to primary header. And here you can see this is just like layouts. And right now we don't really have to mess with this one. This one's pretty solid. I like this setup. And then primary menu. So here you have options to disable it. So like if you don't want the menu, that you can straight up just make it disappear. But that just doesn't make any sense for this website. So I'm gonna make sure it's there. Last item in the menu is the button, which is by default by this theme. Changes button, let's say get started. And then here's where you place your link. Now, we haven't created any pages yet with the different links, so let's actually let's save that for now. And then you can actually open this in a new tab, but since this is like an internal link, I'd ideally keep that, within the website. Button style, currently it's a theme button, but if you want to change the style, you can click on there, customize, and pretty much you can go here to color, change the background to literally whatever you'd like. So if you like the white background, you can do it like this. And pretty much, let's see, I'm just gonna do Command Z. I'll actually do this. Let's actually exit off here. Command Z and see if it's working. Looks like it's not bringing it back, but that's okay. Let's just go. Yeah, it looks fine here. I like the default color, looks pretty good. And let's go back. And that's basically if you wanted to edit the styling there. Typography too, same thing. But I think I went too far back. So let's go back to, let's see, where am I at? I'm on header. So it should be header, primary menu. And this should just say get started. And then, yeah, you also have to change back the styles, but yeah, you should be fine. And then pretty much here's transparent header. So right now it is technically transparent, but if you'd like to add, like let's see, go here and change this to like red, for your website or whatever color you'd like, then this is where you'd go in to do that. But I'm going to keep mine default. I like the transparent design. And pretty much these are just additional things that you can add and customize, but for the most part that's pretty much the editing that menu. So make sure you click publish up here to save all of this, and then pretty much you're set to go. So that's where you can change your logo, everything. And now let's do the footer. So if you've noticed, you're probably wondering like, why can't you edit the footer within Elementor? So like I click edit with Elementor, like it doesn't allow you to actually edit the footer. So once it loads up, I'll show you what I mean. But basically, like the footer is not, like you can't do anything. So the way to do this is we actually need to go back to the desktop or the dashboard. So let's go here and let's go exit to dashboard. And right now say welcome to the block editor. Let me just exit off this. Let's just click this logo right here. So now we're back on the actual dashboard, the original one. And now I'm here on page right now, but what you want to do is go to appearance tab, and then you should have this option called header, footer, and blocks. So click there, and then it says site footer. So right now, if you hover over, you see this edit with Elementor. Let's click edit here. And now we can actually go in here and edit the footer. So let's just say copyright, and I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like my it looks like my thing got messed up. So let's just say travel agency. Ideally it had code for like the actual site title, but I guess I messed up on typing and it didn't copy right. Here we can change, I'll keep this logo here. I don't really care about this address, so I'll just delete that. And let's just right click, let's delete this here. This is social media icon, so again click here, and if you want to go to like Facebook, click it, and then you'd paste in like your actual links, like https://facebook.com, whatever your social media is. Same for these icons. And if you're like, what if I don't want to use Facebook? What you could do is actually you can click on these logos and just change this icon to like we want to do like Instagram. Click here, insert, and then you just paste in your Instagram link in here. And that's basically how you go into Instagram. And then this is just like a spacing to have a design. But you can see here, this is where you can edit this, like about us. So if you're like, hey, I don't need these values, so let me just exit off here. We can just click on this and then change this to like, let's say our values, whatever you want to put. And then you could link this to a particular page in your site, which I'll show you just after this footer. And then here, obviously, you can add this stuff too, but it's pretty much the same. You can click on these values, or let's click exit off here. Exit off that one. Actually, Command Z didn't mean exit off. Just click out of it. Here, you can change this one to our values, our story. You get the point. You'd fill these out with things on your website, and then you'd paste the link here, and that's pretty much that's how it goes. Same thing here. If you want to change this to like contact us, and then I can just go here, let's just delete all this, and I can just go here and let's just put like supports. You'd obviously put a link to a page that would be like a contact page, and then here's like no more. And it's pretty much like a basic design. And then you can change the colors too, just like originally you want to change the text, whatever color you'd like. You do the same thing here. Same thing with the logo. You don't like this logo, fit this with your own websites. And then if you wanted to add more sections, obviously you can like click here, drag in headings, and then get fancy with that. But this footer is pretty standard. Like I like the design, so I'm gonna keep it here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and update. So now we can go click on preview changes, and let's see what we have created so far. And now we got this footer right here. So now if you wanted to actually see the entire site, let's actually go and let's do this. Go back to the dashboard. So click there. And then once we're on the dashboard, if we just hover back over it again, just click visit site. Now we can see the actual site now. So you can see we changed this text here. We got our full sections here. And now the last thing I want to show you is like navigating to different pages. Because like right now if you click it, like nothing really happens. So let's do this. Let's go back to the dashboard. So hover over, click dashboard. And then here we have, this is post. So like if you have a blog, this is where you'd put your blog post, but we're focusing more on just the design part for this. If you want me to make like a full blog site with WordPress, definitely let me know. I've created a lot of blog sites before, so it's not too difficult to recreate. Media, this is like where you store all your files. And then let's go to pages. So I'll click here. And right now you can see they have default pages created. But if you wanted to, you can always go in and pretty much create one from scratch. So if you go to the top, click on add new. This is how you go in and basically recreate a page. So like, let me just do one for example purposes. So let me just call this one, say like contact page. So you name this obviously something whatever fits your design. And then here for the page attributes, make sure you change this to Elementor full width. And then also for the permalink, this is essentially what they call a slug, or the name of the URL of the page. So it would be most likely your website's domain.com name / this slug. So you can see here my domain.com / contact page. If you wanted it to be like something completely different, like contact page 123, then it'll be contact page 123. And this is essentially the link where people can pretty much navigate to in order to view this page. So if I click publish, and I just click publish. Now right now, I'm most likely not going to use this page because I already have pre-built pages on this template. So if I go back to the little icon here, let's go back to the pages. The one I'll just do is add this about page. If I click on about and just click on it, we can just take a look at it really quick. You can see we have this about right here, and you can see the slug is basically this link. So what we can do is I can go here and let's open this link in a new tab. And right now, this is what it looks like right here. So you can see that it's already built. So that's really cool with this template. So if I can go here and I'll just copy this link, and let's just go and I can click like on the home page, and let's see if it brings me back. So you can see now we're back on the home page. I'll click on the about page, and now you can see we're on the about page, services page, contact page, etc. So you can see it's like this. But what I want to do is, let me show you some cool. So like click on the about page, or actually let's go back home. Now right now if I click on like these buttons, you've noticed like they don't go anywhere. So let's do this. Let's go edit with Elementor. And then let's go and click on let's do the about button. And notice it has this link here. So let me go here and let's just erase this, and let's do https:// and I'm just gonna paste in my about page. So it looks like it actually pasted it with the / already. So let me delete that. So this is basically https:// my domain.com/about. So let's update this, and let's see, connection loss. Yeah, so let me try it again, see if my internet's back. And then once it's finished updating, we can preview the changes. And then if the URL is typed properly and I didn't mistype anything, when I click on the About Us button, it should lead me to the About page. So now if I click on trips, notice it doesn't go anywhere. But if I click on About Us, it will navigate now to a new link, which is the About Us page. So now you can see how cool it is just to add links. So pretty much any place you want something to navigate to, like learn more, if you want this to go to the services tab, you just go in, just like I showed you earlier. Let me just do it one more time just for tutorial's sake. So again, let's see, where is it at? Down here. You just click on your button, go to your link, you paste in the link. So I'm just gonna paste the about because I don't have the services. But I could just / that, say services, because it should be the exact same thing with the name. And I just click update, and then I just click on the little preview again, and then we can check and see if that link works. So I just scroll down here, click learn more, and it looks like it leads us to a services page. So now you're probably wondering, what if I'm not using a template and I just want to make my own custom page? Like what if I don't like these? So cool thing is, so let's do this. Let's go back to the dashboard. So since this is a template, it's so much easier to just go in, but let me just show you in case you were curious. So like for instance, if we go to pages, notice how I made like another page called contact page. And if you've noticed, it's not showing on the actual menu. So if I go to appearance, and go to menus down here. And then if I scroll down, notice how only these 4 show. But I created this new page called contact page. So I click this, check it, add to menu. And ideally you name this something that's not similar to another menu, but just since I'm tutorial sake, I just named it that so you can visibly see what's happening. And then let's just go here and you notice how it just says page here, and these have like Elementor on it. But let me just go ahead and just save this really quick and see how it looks. So I just saved this. Now let's do and click on manage with live preview. And now you can see we have this new menu created. So now let's go back and let's go to navigation. Let's go to contact page. And then if you wanted to change this, you could, but I'm pretty much going to keep it like this. And then you can see all these navigation menus here. And then again, if you click on like the header, primary header, or actually primary menu, you can go ahead and edit the button and everything here too as well. But let's do this. Let's exit off because now we can see the contact page is there. And then let me scroll down and let me just make sure I have all my links set. So now let's go ahead and actually go to the top, go back to visit the site. And now if I click on this contact page, it essentially leads me to the link with the slug I named contact-page, and there's nothing here. Now let's actually go here and click on edit page. And then what we can do is click here and click edit with Elementor. So now if you're like, hey, I don't like the template I'm using, I just want to make my own page from scratch, make it fancy, or make it very simple, you can just do again just like Elementor did. So for this sake, you could go again from scratch, build it out, but let me just click this little folder, and let me just use a block. And pretty much, actually if you notice on the pages, there's already pages built. So like if you want to go in here and use some, these are the majority are pro, so I mean there's not much you can really work with. But like if you want to just type in here and just say like contact, notice like majority is professional. But like here we can just go here and see like this one's contact. Let me just click it. And ideally this is the same concept with the blocks. If you wanted to go in here and just insert this. And now you can see we just created this full page just from the template. Then you can go in here, obviously update the details to fit your own design, delete some stuff, and then you get the point. And then again, you can go here, create some more stuff from scratch. But pretty much there, if I click update, and then I go and preview the changes now you can see we have this whole page just created just like that with the click of a button. And obviously if you're making this from scratch, you'd have your own custom design. But if I were to now go navigate back to home, you can see we have our website just like this. And then if I go to this new menu page that we just created called contact page, you can see that it's showing just like that. So that's in case you wanted to make your own custom page from scratch and not be using the template design. But for the most part, this pretty much shows you every single thing that you need to get started creating your own website with WordPress and Elementor. So if you did have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. If you would like me to make more tutorials on how to make a site with WordPress and add some more custom themes, features, or even particular website designs like a blog website, a gym website, e-commerce, etc., comment those down below. I'll definitely check them out. And aside from that, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you enjoyed this, share this with your friends. Comment down below what you think or any suggestions, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.